Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Gabriella, and I'm here with Warren Brown, an amazing author and writer from Dancing Elephant Press. And Warren has published so many amazing books, and we are going to highlight one of his books today about being a global citizen. So I'm going to let Warren introduce himself a little bit, tell you about his work, and also what prompted him to write this book, and then we're going to have a wonderful conversation. Welcome, Warren.
Thank you, Gabriella. Thanks. It's nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I've been writing for many years, and I enjoy writing a lot. So it's something I started as a teenager. So I've continued to write and publish my work. 2010, I published my first book of 75 poems, along with other books. It was fiction and nonfiction. So I write poetry, articles on a number of topics. So I try and cover everything. So that keeps me interested also as a writer. So that's why I enjoy doing it. Now, I grew up in India, and then I moved to England with my wife a couple of decades ago. So the idea of a global citizen came to my mind, that many of us keep moving, whether for work, travel. And now with the age of digital nomads, when we have people freelancing anywhere around the world doing work from a laptop, which has been going around for about a decade now. There's so many people who are well into being digital nomads and earning a living just on their laptop. But it goes beyond that as a global citizen, because global citizens move to a new country, they adapt to the country, they take the time to understand the people, the culture, the customs of that country. So it's literally a new home. And there is also a change in the mindset of the person. Because when you go to a new place, there are new things to observe, new ways of living, food, culture, everything changes, traditions. It's so important that when we move to another country, we need to adapt. We need to understand exactly what makes that country a success and why and how we can be a part of it. So digital nomads and being a world citizen, a global citizen, is to create the mindset of living without borders, because we have geographical borders that divide all of us. But in this day and age, and it came about with the internet, and I got onto the internet in 1999. Yeah, it was a few years ago. I got into the internet here in 2019. And I've seen that you can do so much. You can literally, your words, your ideas can cross borders, continents, countries, and connect with people all around the world who like your writing. And that's why I love the internet. And now, as a global citizen, I would say that more of us need to make an effort to understand, so to be tolerant, to respect, to honor the different people we come across, customs, beliefs, traditions, which are so very important to making our world more united. We are united in so many ways, by language, by our interests, by the way we live, by the way we think. And I think the internet, the web, is a very effective medium in connecting humanity, And in the future, I think it's going to be much more powerful. And now that's why I'm so interested in artificial intelligence. I'm very, very interested in artificial intelligence. It all started with the images, creating images. It's like magic. You just tell the computer what you want, and then it creates it. A few lines, a few sentences, a few words neatly placed, and you get an image. I know it's not created by a human being. I know that human artists, photographers don't like it, and I'm sure that there are reasons for that, because they feel that they're being done out of work and their rights, which is very true. But digital images with artificial intelligence is at a different level. It's not meant, it's like comic books, where the drawings are not fantastic, but the illustrations are not realistic, but it touches a nerve inside you. It makes you think that I can do these wondrous things with a few words. It's like magic, literally. But now with artificial intelligence, I think we are at the beginning of a new frontier, one which we should take advantage of. So it will play an important part in the future of humanity. In a sense, it's a tool. It's like the steam engine, and then you have the trains, the locomotives. You have new ways of communication. The telephone. It's basically like the telephone. It shouldn't be treated beyond that level. It's just a machine doing what it can do for us, work for us. And I think there's great possibilities that can come out of this. So next year, I'm planning to create a lot of material around this in my futuristic visions, which may not be fantastic, but I'll create stories around these different ideas which I get. So that's one mission for next year. I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds wonderful and very interesting. And
Yeah.
I like how you connected global citizenship to
Yeah.
artificial intelligence. It does, there's a lot of questions, and we are currently having a lot of conversation about artificial intelligence on Medium as well as on Substack in the Elephant Press. And if whoever's watching this don't know, we also published a book about artificial intelligence, looking at human and artificial intelligence, and we have stories about that. And probably there's going to be a second book because you're writing so much about it, and it's going to be an ongoing conversation. But how it connects to humanity and global citizenship is, I think, because as you were mentioned, it's available through the web to everybody. So just how people can connect to art or writing in our words, we can connect through images. And you're correct, some of the images are just absolutely fascinating.
I know.
But I do think that the backbone of the images is still humanity, because artificial intelligence has to pull from what's available in the database that humans created, right?
Yes.
So it is absolutely a very, very interesting concept. And I remember when I was reading your book about citizenship, you were mentioning some traits and how a global citizen should behave. And you mentioned a few of them before. If you think about what would be the most important things for humanity, so we can unite and focus on each other and support each other, what those things would be, what those traits would be.
Tolerance will be number one. Yeah, tolerance is very important. To respect, to respect the other person. Tolerance of religion, political ideologies, because we may not always agree on who should be the next president, the next prime minister. We don't agree with the gods, the different gods people have all around the world. And yet people make an effort, but then in most cases, sometimes people are not very genuine. They don't, oh, I'll celebrate this festival with you, I'll do this with you, I'll do that with you. But they don't know the real truths behind the religion. They don't know the truths behind philosophies, but they just pretend they know, just to be diplomatic. But people should make an effort to know how the world works, means how different we are as far as our customs are concerned, religions, ways of thinking. We all have very different ways of thinking. People are not always tolerant about that. But being a global citizen, I think that's very important. Whereas the country you go to, the one country you're working with, whether it's virtually or in person, supposing you move from here to Brazil or from here to India, now they have different ways of thinking, different ways in which they do business, and they different ways in which they worship. So all that has to be respected. So you can't say something like, oh, I don't like that food, but you don't know that must be the main staple food that they have in that country. So you have to know exactly what to say it, how to behave. That's very important. Understanding is the observation, understanding, and tolerance. Because that's what I like to do when I go on a holiday. I like to first go out, find the different shops, walk down the roads, see the different shops, see the food that's available, see the type of people, try and interact with them, see the ways of thinking. That's why in school I studied 2 Indian languages, but I knew the importance of studying languages as well, because you learn to know the mind of a person when you study the language. That's why I read one or two their books in those languages, and I could appreciate the richness. That's something which cannot be translated into English. You don't get the same magic. Like Rabindranath Tagore in Bengal, he got the Nobel Prize for Literature. He had his works translated into English, but the magic was gone from it. But I read the original works of Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore, and in his Bengali language, it was more beautiful. So that's for every language. I mean, the writer, I saw the books of Max Muller, Sacred Books of the East, when I was working in a library in India. And he had a big collection of all the religious literature from around the world. But that was in English. He had got the essence of the story, but then the real essence would be in the real text, the original
Yes.
text, that
Yeah.
always has more beauty in it. There's more magic in it. So it's like that. To know a country, you need to understand the people, the mind, the way they think, which is important. Why is it important? Because it enriches your soul. It changes the way you think, because our brains are all wired. So we start to think the way they think, because we speak their language, we have their food, we understand their customs. We become more like that person, and we can relate to them. So we are not talking down to them. We're not demeaning in any way in attitude to them, but we understand them. And that's very important. That mental connection and human connection is important.
Absolutely. I agree. I think taking the time to get to know one, and I would add just to get to know the human,
Yeah.
like as you were mentioning, I understand it's important to get to know the religion, but sometimes that would take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But just taking the time to look at another person as a human being, and it it doesn't matter what religion and what culture, it is a human being, and just be kind, listen, and as you were saying, try to understand and be respectful. And I think there's too many people focus on the things that divide us or how we
Yeah.
are different,
Yeah.
and instead of focusing on how we are the same or how can we
Yeah.
be united. And differences are not always bad. I mean, if we would all be the same, we would be very boring, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It is
I was
really
just
fun.
telling my wife the other day what would happen if there were 5 Warrens waiting for you at the train station when you get off the train. If there were 5 of me, she said that'd be too much. That'd be too many Warrens. There were so many, because that's what happens. People take on personalities of other people. They try to, replicate themselves, but that's not true. That's not the right thing to do. You must always be yourself, because we're all unique in that way.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. There's a lot of people can get lost
Yes.
in what this other person is doing or how this other person is speaking or writing. We do see that in a writing world a lot.
Yes.
On the different platforms where we write, is one person is trying to copy another person
Yeah.
instead of being just
Themselves.
themselves, or
That's why. Yeah,
using
that's what.
AI to write for them instead of sharing their own thoughts. What do you think about that? When people are using AI to write for them instead of sharing what's inside them.
They want to just show that they are capable of writing. Now they are capable of writing in most cases in their own language really well. But now AI is writing it in English. If I could do it in their own languages, okay, they would do it again, trying to prove to others that they are writers. But the thing is, writing is a self journey. It's an inner journey. It's not something, if a machine does, it's going to enrich you. It won't enrich you. That's why I said if a person wants to use AI and write 100 books, good for him or her. Means that's their journey. But I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I can use AI for research purposes. Now, AI is a tool for social media which can be used, and it's coming up in several ways. Like yesterday, I went into Notebook LM, Google's Notebook LM, and I uploaded it was my dad's articles about his life and stuff. And it created a podcast for me with two uh, AI avatars talking, discussing his work. And it brought a tear to my eye because they were humans, sounded like humans, and they were discussing the work of my dad that he had done. And it was a podcast for 15 minutes. And it was based on the text that I had just fed them. It turned it into a podcast, which I could hear. And they were discussing the points which were in the writing. So I could use that for, it analyzes your writing and then it presents it as a podcast with two AI avatars talking about it, discussing it, but they're just discussing what is in the text. So it's like a research tool. They analyze your text. They will create, they can create courses, outlines based on your text. So you don't need them to generate text for you. You can use your own text. So it becomes like a database, a speaking database, or a database of your work. My dad had a lot of writings. I have a lot of writings. So if I was thinking, if I feed it into a program, then I can get different plans and projects based on the work that I have created. It's all mine, intellectual property. So I can do with it whatever I want. Now, there are so many things I could do with it, which is amazing. And ordinarily, you don't have the time to do so many things. We've got our day-to-day work, there's rushing around doing shopping or coming back or traveling for 1 hour to work, coming back. So you don't have so much of time, but AI, the machine can do it. They can do it. They can create gems out of what you have already done, which is amazing. Have you tried Notebook LM?
No, I have not tried, but I'm excited. I assume you can send me that information, or if you have already a podcast, I would love to listen to it to see what the output is. Yeah.
And it really seemed very good. I was very hesitant to use it because I was thinking about it would steal my text, but it can do so much. It can do so much with, it's like an archive. You go to an archive, you go through the literature that's there, and then you create your work. So it's literally doing that for you. It can create a podcast based on your work. It can create notes based on your work, especially if it's serious topics, whatever the topic may be, outlines, course materials. It can create a lot based on your own work. For now, it's free, but they may eventually start charging for it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I've seen a lot of people do different type of things like that on YouTube or online when there's discussion and then you wonder, is this a human discussion? Is this a
that's the tricky part.
And I think the more advanced things get, the more difficult it is to make a distinction.
Distinguishable. And the thing is, we need to move with it. I know that everyone is up in arms against AI, but now babies are going to start learning AI in school. Children are going to start learning AI in school. So in another 10 years, we'll be left far, far behind. When, AI is going to be the in thing. It's going to be like as simple as ABC. AI is going to be like that. So if we don't keep up, we'll really lose out. So we need to keep ahead. So I always watch YouTube, like you do, just to know what's happening. But I don't need AI to generate text for me. That there's no need for that, because I would prefer that it does its work for me. Like I'd get a compass, something like that, can just to show direction. But it's not to generate work for me, because then it's not my work, it's not my ideas, it's not my life experience.
Absolutely.
And that's where AI hurts the human writer, when it's not your life experience. But then there are many who want to generate, like I read, there's a man who generated 100 novels based, AI generated novels on Amazon. And he's very popular, and he's people don't like him. He has 50% to do, but he doesn't mind. He doesn't care. So that's fine. People like that, that's fine. So that's not a personal journey for them as a writer. He just wants to produce work, like a pot boiler, just produce works and say that he published it. But if every work speaks about your experience, I think it's essential that you create your own work.
Yeah, I think there's kind of a divide than in writing, because if you look at, like, I write for the similar way as you write, to share my own journey, my thoughts, my poetry. But then I guess there's a different writer group who is just absolutely to create content, money, not necessarily for share what's within. And that's a really interesting concept, because it's so foreign. It's so foreign. It's so against my nature. But that's one of those things that I guess we have to accept each other.
We have to accept.
They want to do it their way, and we want to do it our
way. Exactly. Yeah, we just do things our way, the way we prefer it. Yeah, I compare them to the bootleggers with like fake alcohol, fake liquor. It's like fake writing. But they want to say, and now it's become so good that it can be very human-like. You think it's written by a human, but then they are fooling themselves. I mean, and actually, that brings me back to the second idea, which is there is enough place at the top for everyone. We've all got our paths as writers. So if people want to generate work and say it's their work, it's good for them. But personally, we each have our own writing path to walk on, and which is our way of self-discovery. And my dad kept writing till he was 84 before he passed. So he kept writing, and he would write literally on a paper, all his notes. And then he would show it to me. He said, Warren, I'll just keep writing, and then later I type it in. I said, Dad, go get a laptop. I'll get you a laptop. Just do it on the laptop. He said, no, I must write it, because then that helps me to think.
Yes.
Nowadays, I just sit down at my laptop, and then I just type it in, so I can keep typing. So sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, I type a poem, an article, and I'm sending it somewhere. So it's fun. I do it because it's fun.
Absolutely. And there's just something joyful about when you gather those thoughts together and then hit that publish button.
Of course. Yeah.
I do both. So I have, like, even here right now, like I have, journals and notes that I write, but there's a lot of things that I just type in. But sometimes it's good to do like the little journals or notes.
The thing with the diaries and journals, I forget about it later. I forget about putting it onto the computer, and that's
you just have to go back and say, what did I write there?
Oh, where did I write that? I don't make so many notes, because nowadays I forget to even bring it out to retype it, and then the idea is forgotten. So I try and put it down on the computer immediately.
It is so different, because like when I first began to write my poetry as a child, I had multiple notebooks that and then we get typewriters, right?
And the typewriter,
type it up in a typewriter. Still have some of those books, and I translated some of the poems,
and for you it would be a different language, Hungarian and then English.
Which reminds me of what you talked about earlier, that there is, yes, you can translate something, but a little part of that magic is gone, because the expression in one language is very different in Hungarian.
So the power of words is different in different languages. It's not the same.
But then I was also thinking, like, even if you would tell me a poem in one of the Indian languages that I could just close my eyes and listen from my heart, even if I don't know the language. You can just listen,
visualize
vibration and the resonation of something too.
Of course.
Absolutely. So if we circle back a little bit again to the topic of how can we help maybe as writers to unite humanity and help guide people to be more acceptant toward each other. Is there any advice that you would give to other writers, or what are the things they could probably do, or share what are the things that you are doing to connect humanity?
Writing is a very powerful tool because ideas shape minds, and words are like little seeds. My dad would say, I'm planting seeds. It's like every idea is a little seed that you plant. And so just having the concept of being a global citizen and cooperation between writers, that's very essential. But I think more writers need to help more writers, because we're all writers on the writing path. So more people should open their hearts to helping other writers or just connecting with other writers. And that would make connection between writers so strong. Because over the last decade, I've noticed the number of writers have increased, especially with platforms like Medium, Substack.
Mm-hmm.
Many writers are new writers coming out now, just expressing their voices for the first time. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when I wished that every person had a biography. Every person living on the planet had their own biography to share, because their own life story. So, that's so important, because we're all living different lives. We're all in the same world, on the same world, but we're all living different life experiences. And there's always something nice that can be shared, no matter what the experience. It's always good to share it with others, so that, so the writer knows they're not alone, they're not lost, they don't have to be alone, and that there are others like them who are also sharing ideas. And sometimes you find people who have similar ideas connecting. So I would say that writers connecting with writers would be very helpful for years to come. And the feeling of, I want to be a success and I don't want others to be a success like me, or there's no place on the top for so many successful writers. No, there's enough space at the top for everyone to be a success. Like, you don't have to be a success so someone else has to be a failure. No, we all got our writing path. So spirit of cooperation between writers would really be helpful.
Yes, I agree with that. And we do try to achieve that through
You do a
creating
lot. Yeah,
possible.
you do a lot. Yeah, especially with the book projects and bringing people together. You've done a lot and you're still doing a lot. Yeah, thanks, Gabriella, for that. Yeah, you're doing a lot connecting writers over the years, which is
And then
fantastic.
hopefully, my hope is that maybe other writers will follow that, recognizing that, yes, we can create a project together. We can write a magazine together. We can write books together. It doesn't have to be just my name on a book.
Yeah.
If it can be 10 people's name in a book, and then we did it together from all over the world. And I think that's really magical. And I
think many lack the courage, Gabriella, basically, they lack the courage. So many people just need that extra boost of confidence. Many writers, especially, who are new to the field. Like, I've been writing for maybe 2 decades or more, but there are many writers that are just coming up when I'm not confident enough to do it.
Well, hopefully with time that will change.
Yeah, with time. Yeah. I'm sure with time. Yeah. But I think the world is changing, and there's more, because there are more writers, there's more communication. Barriers are breaking and coming down. Walls are falling between countries, people, because writing is changing the world. The human intellect will be strong, and it's getting stronger.
I'm very excited to be able to have platforms where you can meet other writers, like Medium and Substack, and even in like LinkedIn is starting to do more articles where you can collaborate together, and that you can collaborate just online through meetings like this one and panels and things like that.
Very simple. Yeah, my dad would go to a little a little restaurant when he was a young chap, and he would meet his fellow writers and they would discuss there. But now you can do it at your computer. You can do it.
Ah,
People are miles apart and worlds apart. You can do it. You can still meet people and share ideas, which is fantastic.
it is truly amazing that just with a click of a button,
Yeah, that's
um,
it.
you and I are 9 hours
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
separate in time, and then
yeah.
so thousands and thousands of miles apart,
Miles away.
and just
Yeah.
connect together.
But
And
we can still share ideas, yeah, and that's fantastic. It's like literally the two hemispheres of a human brain. Two hemispheres, yeah,
yeah.
connecting, thoughts flowing, impulses, now, because our brains are wired that way now. So it's human beings now wiring the world, literally.
Yes. I'm really enjoying our conversation, and I was just wondering if there was anything that we didn't bring up today that you feel like it would be essential to share with other writers or just our global citizens around the world. Um, any thoughts?
Maybe a project for the coming year would be a good thing. Maybe a banner project which Dancing Elephants could have for the coming year, a global project for global citizens. One project idea where people from all around the world can contribute. So we can get people from India, Thailand, Germany, Europe, countries in Europe, from any place in the world. And for each country, each writer who contributes from a particular country, maybe a little flag could go in the book or on the website if it's possible. Just in my mind, I'm thinking about that as a global citizen project, a special global citizen project. It's like a project about cultures,
Mhm.
customs, traditions, like fairy tales. Those are amazing.
Ah,
Those are really amazing. Folklore, which is rich in every country. It's fantastic. So if writers are invited to write about folklore, religion, countries, traditions, uh, myths, customs, which are rare, experiences, which are so specific to a particular country. And then a little flag goes up into that project board. That countries presented their myths. A writer has presented their myth from a particular country, or folklore, a tale. That would be amazing for 2025. And call it the Global Citizen um, Cultural Exchange Project, something of that kind. So
that sounds beautiful. I love it.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
make it
that would
happen,
be good.
Warren.
That would be good. That would be good for 2025, something to look forward to. And so every writer rather, encouraging writers from different countries to contribute their work. Then, so it may not be a book may not be enough. We may go into volumes if we get 1,000. So I think a website would be good for that. If we have a Wix website, that may be good. So where everyone can just contribute. Means if I get an idea of a folk tale, which I remember, or a tradition I remember, because I belong to a mixed race community, Anglo-Indians. So we have our own little traditions during Christmas and stuff like that. We are British Indian mixtures. So when the British went to India, they married Indian ladies or had children from them. And we are the offspring, Anglo-Indians. So every race has its own culture and tradition. And when they're mixed race, it's even more interesting. So,
Absolutely.
so it would be good if we have a website, and then from the website we can get material for books,
That's
folklore.
I love it.
Um,
I love the folk tales and
yeah,
traditions
yeah, it's
idea
amazing. It's amazing.
to
Yeah,
connect
it's
people.
so rich. That's the thing. It's so rich. People don't realize it that the best stories are in the folk tales, like the Grimm's fairy tales. Then in India you have the Panchatantra, and then you have so many myths and legends, which are fantastic. And
Absolutely.
yet there is a similarity. They are different, but yet there is a human factor within all that. There is the commonality, which is so fantastic and rich for
Love it.
us as writers.
I love it, Warren. we'll see if we can make that project happen.
Yeah.
And thank you.
I think even if we get a website or maybe some place where everyone can contribute,
Yes,
can keep it just open for writers to contribute.
sounds beautiful.
Yeah, and with sources, so it's not like you say, we don't want artificially generated stuff. We want real human stories.
Human
Real human
studies sounds beautiful. We
Yeah,
have less
that-
than a minute left, so I'm
Yeah,
so
okay, Gabriella.
grateful for
Thank
you
you.
today, Warren, and
Good
let's
speaking to you.
continue our conversation. And thank
Yeah,
you so much
sure.
for being here today.
Yeah, sure. Take care. Thanks. Bye,
Have
Gabriella.
a beautiful day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Have a lovely day and week. Bye.